Alright, ladies, gentlemen, dogs, cats, small rodent-like animals like hamsters and mice, aliens, hello and welcome to today's stream. Yes, there's so many people watching. Anyway, hello and welcome to today's gameplay stream. I am Darkside Phil. How are you doing? Hopefully the answer is, I am doing splendid and I am ready for a nice fun session of gaming goodness. Today is Tuesday, November 1st, 2016. We are in the home stretch of 2016, ladies and gents. The home stretch. It's been an interesting year for games. We've seen some high highs and we've seen some really low lows this year. Some unique experiences and some duds. Like usual, right? It certainly hasn't been the best gaming year ever, but it's not over. We've got 2 more crazy months left ahead of us of brand new spanking releases and stuff going on, and I'm very excited for it. I hope you are too. Today's gameplay stream is going to be the conclusion of the episodic Hitman. Okay? The episodic Hitman game. Yeah, it's been out all year. I'm actually looking at my calendar right now. I'm trying to find the date where Hitman started. I think it was March, but I'm not 100% because I can't really... It's pretty dark in my office, so I can't really read the calendar too well. But, yes, Hitman has been an episodic game that I've been playing all year long. Unlike the previous Hitman games, which were always full retail releases, Square Enix decided to do it differently this year. And for whatever reason, I guess maybe I would think it was funding, right? Maybe they simply couldn't get enough funding to make a full-fledged retail game. Hitman has been a game that every month or two, there's a new episode. This is the 6th and final episode that we're playing today. This one is apparently set in Japan. I don't know too much else about it outside of that. All I know is that it's set in Japan. I actually asked, it's pretty interesting, because I asked Twitter this morning who's played it and who's interested, and I got, like, no responses. I think one, actually, I take it back. One person responded and said, I love watching you play Hitman. And that was it. I don't think there's any interest in Hitman anymore. I think, sadly, because of the way that this game was released, okay, being something that came out, you know, every couple of months a new episode, it pretty much died out completely, and anyone who was interested in it, except for those who bought the season pass, pretty much don't care anymore. And that's pretty sad, because you remember, the last Hitman game, Absolution, was huge. That one was one of the best games of the year. It sold a lot. And it was hilarious because it sold a lot. And then in the news story, it was like, Square Enix says they wish it sold better and the series might be canceled. And everyone was like, what? It sold millions of copies. Square Enix wasn't happy. Well, what the fuck were they expecting? Sorry that you have these ridiculously unrealistic sales expectations for every game that you put out. And not every game is going to be a sales-crunching or sales-crushing, record-breaking game. You know what I mean? But anyway, I really liked that game. And so here we are with this episodic Hitman game. And I have a few things to say about it. You know, I've really enjoyed it. I've liked going back to it every couple of months for a fun episode. But I do have to say, and this is being completely honest here, it's been incredibly hard to follow along with this game because of the way that they released it. Unlike, let's say, think of a Telltale game that typically Telltale games, right, are narrative-based games that are episodic. Usually there's a recap, right, so you can remember what happened in the last episode. Usually it's not super complex, so it's easy to follow along the narrative or whatever. And it's easy to jump back into after being away for a month or a couple of months. Hitman has been the exact opposite. Every time I play this game, I can't remember what the hell is going on in the game. And it's been it feels disjointed. It doesn't feel like a full game. It feels... What the hell's that noise? Someone's making... Oh, there's a crow outside my window going... Meh, meh. I was like, what the hell is that noise? And the crow went... Meh. Shut up, crow. Get out of here. Alright, anyway. This game has felt very disjointed. It doesn't feel like a full-fledged retail release. It feels like 6 mini-games. It really does. And it even feels like they've been advancing the game over the course of the year. If you've actually taken a look at how the game started out versus where it's gone and the things they've done with these further episodes, it almost seems like the game dev was like, oh, we can add this element and we can do this that's different. And it makes it almost feel like you're playing 6 different games in a lot of ways. Okay, and really, honestly, they actually have said that they're going to release this as a retail release in January. I don't know how that's going to be received. People waiting a year to buy it so they could get it all at once. You know what I mean? In addition, just the way that they've delivered the episodes has been really weird. Like this limited time assassination. You have to do it within this certain period of time when it's available online. If you don't do it then you can't get this bonus mission or something. You know, they did this weird stuff over the course of the year that's just confusing. There wasn't even like a lot of transparency. When you boot up the game, it doesn't even explain about limited time missions or anything like that. So you wouldn't even know that those exist unless you did research online. It's just very bizarre what they've done with this game. And it's interesting because I was definitely wanting to know, gee, could they actually take a big AAA game like the Hitman franchise and could they turn it into a digestible, episodic kind of release? And will we see this more with games in the future where maybe the game studio is uncertain of how it's going to sell, that they'll do episodic instead of full retail release? I'm going to be honest, I don't think that this experiment has worked. If anything, I think it's the actual polar opposite. It's proven that when you have a game like this, you have to have a full game ready. You can't do it episodically because it just doesn't digest well. And yeah, I mean, just think about it. When I first started playing Hitman earlier this year, there was a lot of hype for it, right? And if you actually take a look at my first 2 episodes of this game that I played, which were, I think it was April and May or April and June, they got pretty good attendance. Everyone was excited for the game. And now take a look. Here we are. It's November. We're about to play the final episode. I've got 200 people on stream. That's it. And no one cares. And that's sad because the game's good. You know what I mean? Now, last episode that I played did have some issues. The last episode, if you remember, there were some really weird broken bugs where people were seeing me through walls. People were psychically setting off alarms. And we even had the issue where I was reloading from a save point and the places of all the characters moved. Where, okay, I'll save with this guy in the next room in case I fuck it up. And then I reload and the guy's not in the next room anymore. It's like, So obviously these are major problems with the game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm debating whether or not I should even do a full review of the game because honestly, I don't think anyone gives a shit about Hitman. I really don't. In a lot of ways, this game may end up being in my most disappointing games of the year, not for the gameplay, but because they made it episodic and it pretty much killed the game completely. Yeah, I hate to say it because I actually like the game, but it is what it is, right? So, anyway, Hitman concludes today. It's going to be about a 3 to 3.5 hour stream. As you guys and gals know, if you've been following this playthrough all year, typically one stream is more than enough to do it. In fact, last time around, the episode, there was 3 assassinations, and it pretty much took me about the whole stream to do it twice. If you remember, I killed them all once, and then I ran through one more time and tried to kill them all again. And I get the feeling that'll be what today is. I'll try to do it maybe 1 or 2 more times. So we're going to definitely see the conclusion of the story today. And, you know, if I have time to do an optional run through it a second time, I probably will. Okay? Alright. But outside of that, I have some great news. And I apologize that I am going to go a little bit longer on pre-stream today, but I have great news to share with everyone. So for the 225 people who are currently on stream, and hopefully for those who watch this on demand on YouTube, this will be great news, okay? Number 1, October 2016 Patreon. It is 100% official because all of the pledges processed overnight, even with the 12 people whose pledges were declined, okay? October 2016 was by far my most successful month on Patreon, both for the sheer number of people who pledged, a record high number of people who pledged, and record high amount of funds raised. This is a great thing. This is what I basically need to happen every month. I need to have this kind of support moving forward if I'm going to continue doing this as a job, because the YouTube revenue thing is not consistent anymore. It's not like it used to be where, okay, I know I'm going to make this amount of money and I can plan. I can't anymore. It fluctuates too greatly. It's very risky. And the bottom line is, as I've said over the past couple of weeks, sadly, I haven't seen any kind of a sharp increase in views or attention at this year-end stuff like I usually do because I'm not in YouTube search anymore. So I'm not getting that natural organic influx of just casual viewers checking out all the new games, because I just simply put don't rank anymore on YouTube. So I'm just getting basically you guys and gals, kind of more the more hardcore viewers who are here for everything, watching, and I appreciate that, but sadly it's really not enough to keep this going. So the Patreon support is very much appreciated. So first off, absolutely we are doing the Indies Marathon this month, okay? So any one of you who are watching this video and or stream and you've pledged in October, FYI, if you pledged $5 or more, you're going to be getting a message from me, okay, on patreon.com. I'm going to send these out at the end of the week, and people say, well, why do you wait so long? Well, it's because some people got declined. There were 12 people whose pledges got declined, and it's for various reasons. Sometimes it's their bank, sometimes it's their credit card, sometimes it's just a typo. So I give them a few days to update their info. And then at the end of the week, once everything has formally finished up, then I mass message everyone on Patreon to let you know the information that I need from you to get you your perks, okay? So if you pledged in October, you're looking forward to participating in the perks and the event and everything, this Sunday night you should be getting a private message from me on Patreon, okay? That's number one. And people will begin nominating and then voting on indie games for me to play at a marathon at the end of this month shortly. As you know, I'll set that up Sunday night. Okay? So, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be very awesome. And I'm very excited for that event. Thank you for everyone who supported me this month in this time of need. I will say this, the way this will be successful is if those who pledged in October keep their pledges going. Now, I'm not saying it has to be a giant pledge if someone pledged a big amount of money. $1 a month, $5 a month. Keep those small pledges going. That's what's going to make this successful in the long run, okay? Now, I have a big announcement in regards to November, because I said, you know what, since everything's going well with Patreon, let me stay on the ball and let me get all the information for everyone in regards to the upcoming months, so that way everyone knows, if you keep your pledges for the month of November, what you're going to be contributing towards, okay? So, not only, as usual, will you be contributing towards the perks that you get normally, like the text and verbal thank yous, getting your questions answered on Ask the King, which, by the way, Ask the King is this month. I'm actually doing it on Thanksgiving Day, which is November 24th, I believe. So there is a new Ask the King coming up this month. That'll be great. Okay. So not only all that usual stuff, but this month's goal is, drumroll. Actually, hold on. Maybe I'll get the sound effect right today. Alright. This month's goal is the return of the Multiplayer Madness event. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, allow me to explain. Earlier this year, I did something for the very first time ever with Patreon. I said, I'm going to do a patron-exclusive multiplayer event, by which, if we hit the funding goal for the month, and patrons who pledge $5 or more will be participating in playing multiplayer games with me. Now, the difference between this and one of my freebie multiplayer events is that, number one, it's strictly scheduled. I actually have, like, blocks of time that I schedule ahead of time, depending on who is available when, okay? I use voice chat, so I'll actually be communicating verbally with everyone who plays with me in these sessions, okay? And, because they're controlled sessions, where I'm scheduling them and they're patrons only, it means there's no trolling. I'm going to repeat that. There's no trolling in these sessions. It basically makes it the best kind of experience possible when it comes to doing multiplayer with me. Alright? And a lot of people really enjoyed the last time I did this, because they said, wow, for the first time ever, I was able to play multiplayer with Phil. It was quality multiplayer where we actually got to communicate and play and have fun, and there was no assholes coming in and trying to troll the lobbies because it was all set up privately, okay? So last time it was incredibly successful. People loved it, and people actually asked me to do it again later in the year, and I said, all right, I will, but I got to do it obviously when there's you know, a time to do it when it's appropriate. And the bottom line is, usually at the end of the year is when there's tons of multiplayer games that are released. In fact, as you can see here, I've actually listed 4 huge multiplayer games that have come out just in the past couple of weeks to months that I think people would be interested in playing. First, Battlefield 1, I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's the one everyone's playing. That's the one that's got the most hype this season. And tons of people are pretty excited about Battlefield 1. Alright? Number 2, Overwatch. Duh, this one has been the biggest multiplayer game of the year. I've consistently gone back to it over and over the months. And more than likely, it's going to end up having like a holiday update, I would think, with exclusive skins and everything. So, yeah, Overwatch definitely on the docket. Gears of War 4. This is a good one only because it's the exclusive Xbox One game. And I know that a lot of my viewers are Xbox One owners. And they get disappointed because I buy most games on the PlayStation 4. So this will actually give an exclusive game to the Xbox One owners, who most Xbox One owners probably bought this game because it's one of the few exclusives this holiday season. Alright. And then the last one, Titanfall 2, which just released. I actually have to still play more of it. Okay. I'm actually going to be playing more of it tonight. And I'm going to play more of that later in the week as well. So I'm going to be having a couple more sessions of Titanfall 2 to get under my belt before I review the game. But there you go. There's 4. That's just 4 games. Now, here's the thing. I want you to understand that I'm open to suggestions as well over the course of this month. So if I get a bunch of people who come to me and say, but Phil, you know, we really would like to play you in Street Fighter V. Is that possible? Or maybe some people say, Phil, we'd really like to play Rocket League with you. Is that possible? I'm not writing off those suggestions, okay? If there's a bunch of people who want to play me in a particular game, then I'm definitely open to doing that. But just so you know, if there's only 1 or 2 people who want to do it, then no, I'm not. Because the bottom line is, sad to say, and I'll actually show you because I'm not making this up, my hard drive on my PS4 is ridiculously crammed, okay? Take a look. Here's what I've got on it right now. I mean, just between Dragon Ball, Titanfall, Battlefield, Batman, WWE, Overwatch, a few PSVR games that I'm going to be wrapping up this week, Hitman, and yeah, I still got Plants vs. Zombies 2 on here, because I play that every once in a while with Leanna. My hard drive's full. Today, after I finish Hitman, I'll be able to get rid of that, and later this week, I'll be doing more PSVR, so I'll be able to get rid of these. But the bottom line is my hard drive is constantly full. So, sadly, I simply can't have 100 games on here at once where I can play them all, okay? So, we'll see. Let's see what happens. I'm curious to see, number 1, how many people will pledge the $5 this month because they're very interested in doing multiplayer with me in a closed environment, voice chat enabled, and all of that. Number 2, let's see what games are suggested. Because like I said, if people do come to me and say, Phil, well, I'd really like to play this game with you, will you be playing it? And it's not one of these suggested games, I'll consider it, okay? So that's the deal. I think this will be great. Now, when will this take place? Because it's another question, okay, that people will ask. Okay. Number 1, this event will take place near the end of December and early January. So let me clarify. It's going to be split so that people who cannot participate in the first session still have an opportunity to participate at a later date. Okay? That was the problem last time, is people were worried, oh no, if I can't be there for the session, what do I do? I had a makeup session. So there'll be 2 sessions. Probably one will be that holiday week around Christmas week, where I'll have several days set in there for multiplayer with patrons. And then I'll probably do a second session in early January, so that everyone can get in there. There won't be anyone who pledges and wants to participate who won't be able to play. You'll all get it. You'll all be fit into the schedule, okay? So, there you have it, ladies and gents. That's kind of the deal. That's the goal for November. Like I said, last time I did this goal, it was very successful. I actually had more people participate than I thought would. We far exceeded the monthly goal that month, and everyone who participated absolutely loved the event. So I think if you're interested in playing multiplayer with me, this is your opportunity to do it in a better environment. And listen, I will say this, because I do want to conclude this pre-stream. It's going on forever. There are some people that are disappointed that I don't do as many kind of open multiplayer events anymore. The bottom line is, if you've noticed, over the course of this year, as I play multiplayer games, I let people in. Meaning, there's been people who say, hey, Phil, can I play with you? And I'm like, yes, you can. Overwatch has been one of those games where I've done that all year. I actually did that with Battlefield just this past week. And I think that's how I'm going to do it moving forward. Because the bottom line is this, sadly, when I have these scheduled events that are not patron specific, there's just too much trolling. In fact, it was 1 year ago in December, I tried to do a week-long multiplayer event with open participation. 95% of it were assholes trolling. And it just ended up being a terrible experience. People who were playing were pissed because these kids ruined it for everyone. And sadly, moving forward, I think this is the way to go. If I have the opportunity when a new game is out to just have some people join me, I will. And then when I do these later on multiplayer events, they'll be patron specific. Okay? So there you have it. Great. I'm excited for this. I hope you're excited too. I love doing multiplayer with viewers. I always have. You know, since I started on YouTube, I think it's an awesome experience. Getting a party together, communicating, doing well, and just kicking ass together is a really fun and unique experience that normally, I mean, who else would I be playing with if I didn't have you guys, right? So it's pretty awesome, all right? Okay, so that's great news. October was a very positive month with Patreon. I'm hoping November will be again. You know, I'm looking forward to all the new games coming up this month. So thank you for everything, everyone. All right. Real quick, run through the plugs here, and then we'll start. Obviously, Loot Crate. I'm supposed to be getting a Loot Crate soon. I don't know when, but I think this week I'm getting my next one. So I'll be unboxing that on the King of Hate Vlogs, my vlogging channel. But check out the description of all of my videos and all of my live streams for a Loot Crate referral link, as well as a discount code. If you use that, you can save 10% on any Loot Crate, and I get a little bit of referral credit. All right. Number 2, KO Gaming is back in a big way. I'm now back doing 1 to 2 big edited videos a week. I just released my Battlefield 1 review, and I will be releasing my Titanfall 2 review this week. So hopefully you'll check that out on KO Gaming. That's youtube.com/KO Gaming 1. Keep in mind, lots of reviews and year-end stuff coming up shortly. So there's going to be lots of new video content on KO Gaming soon. I hope you'll check it out. I already mentioned Patreon. No reason to mention that again. And my girlfriend, Leanna, has her own business called The Black Currant, where she sells handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts. She'd like to personally thank you because she had an influx of orders over the weekend. And it allowed her to exceed her monthly goal. Usually she has a goal of how many orders she'd like in a month. She exceeded it in October, last minute, because a ton of people placed orders. So thank you if you were one of those people. If not, consider placing an order. Check out the website yourself. Check out, she's got tons of variety in the scents available, and it's really high quality stuff. Don't take my word for it. Check the website, because you'll see tons of customer feedback that says the same. That's it, everyone. It is now time for the conclusion of Hitman. I hope that you are excited. I'm excited. Everyone ready for Hitman? All right. Let's do it then. Let's finish this biatch. Here we go.